They're both supposed to come off at the same time. What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, man. Today we're gonna pick right back up on the Blazer. Let's see how far we can get today. I would really like to get everything in the front buttoned up as much as I can. So I did find out that I am going to need to get new injectors in order to run the high ramp. So I guess the injectors that I have will not fit the factory injectors, but that's not a huge deal. So I had planned on using those injectors for the time being because that's what I have, and I was gonna need to get new ones anyhow, but this is just gonna force me to do it a little bit sooner because for one, the stock injectors won't fit in the high ram. I guess if I would have gotten a low ram, it would have fit, but I wanted the high ram. Aside from that, we're also going to obviously a bigger cam, and I'm also wanting to run E85. So as you guys know, E85 uses anywhere between 20 to like 40% more fuel than just regular unleaded or like running 91. So it uses a lot more fuel. And obviously the cam is going to demand a lot more fuel as well. So running a aftermarket injector is going to be basically my only option. So what I'm looking for is probably a good 100 pound injectors, which is weird to me because coming from the Honda world, we never really referred to injectors as a pound rating. We always just went off of a cc. So I guess from my research is that a 100-pound injector is basically equivalent to 1,000 cc injectors. So Holley actually does have some that are relatively affordable. They're like 420 bucks, 450, just under 5, you know, probably after taxes and stuff. So I did see that there are some cheaper options available, but I think I would rather just go with something that's more name brand with the injector. Like I feel like Holley is probably a pretty good injector. I mean, I have the Holley Terminator X on the Blazer. We're putting it on a Holley manifold, and I did notice on the setup with the Holley on the Terminator, when I first set the ECU up, you have to put your injectors in, obviously, so that the ECU knows its dead times and all that. If you have factory injectors, it asks you for the serial number on the injector. But when I was looking through that, I noticed that Holley, their injectors are in there as well. So the ECU already knows that injector. It already knows its dead times and stuff. So I definitely want to go with something that's going to make that a little bit easier of a process, you know? But anyhow, guys, as far as the front end, the engine bay here, I need to do the obvious, the water pump. I got to get the alternator back on. And, oh, this exhaust manifold, I did not get that V-band clamp on down there because I need to jack the damn truck up. And currently, the only jack that I have is out there holding the damn Yukon up still, because I haven't done nothing with that yet. Once we get all that stuff done, then I can start on trying to route my wiring and all that kind of stuff. I also need to order the correct oil pressure sensor, which I haven't done yet, but I did find which one that I want. It's a 100 psi oil pressure sensor. A good thing to know for some of you guys, with this oil pump, it will blow that freaking oil pressure sensor up, man. So I guess the oil pressure sensor that is currently on Chop out there, the person who owned Chop after Braven had gotten rid of it and before he got it back, went through 2 oil pressure sensors because it kept blowing them up. And that's because Chop has the same oil pump on it that we just put on the Blazer. And it runs at 70 psi, which should be good, I think, for a factory sensor, but I don't know, man. It was blowing them up. So I'm gonna go with the 100 psi oil pressure sensor, and that same sensor works for oil, fuel, and coolant. So I need to order 2 of them. So I'll use one on my oil back there, and then I'm also going to need an adapter, which we'll cover all that whenever we do it, whenever we actually do switch that out. And then I also need to order one for my fuel, so then I'll be able to have fuel pressure. The ECU can read all that. I just have to, there's already a plug in there for it. I just have to plug it in as soon as I get a fuel pressure sensor, which is really cool. Anyhow, guys, I'm going to stop talking. Let's get to work on something. start off by putting this other V-clamp in. This is for the driver's side. I already got the passenger side done. Just be nice to know the exhaust system is complete and we can move on. Alright, exhaust is all hooked up and done. I went over and I checked the header bolts too, made sure I had them all tight. Spark plugs are in, coil packs are on, got the spark plug wires plugged in. Put my coolant sensor on. Oh, steering is hooked up. So now, moving on, I need to do the water pump and the alternator. Actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and pull the manifold and start just kind of laying the wires down, see where things are going to actually land. So I eventually want to move my coil packs. I don't want them on top of the valve covers. What sucks about that is you have to run much longer spark plug wires. I mean, this is going to be a later thing, but currently the coil packs all plug in right here, so my harnesses have to reach that. I don't know if it's going to reach coming from the center of the intake manifold, because then it would have to cross over the manifold still. So in order to actually remove the manifold, I would have to still unplug that and push the clip in and then pull the manifold up. But that would be better than the harness running right here with my fuel injectors and everything. So I don't know, I'm gonna pull the manifold off and just kind of mess with the wiring. Alright, so we have a plug here that's got to go to these coil packs. Then this runs up to the map sensor, which before it wrapped over onto the top of the stock manifold. So now the Holley high ram, the map sensor actually goes on the back right here. So I need to see if my stock sensor is going to work in there. So I am assuming not, because the factory manifold, it's got these little clips that actually hold the map sensor on there. What the hell, man? Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a different map sensor, I think. What the f— holy crap, dude. Okay, so apparently I should have done a little bit more research whenever deciding to go with the high ram. We're still gonna use it, but I'm nowhere near prepared for running the high ram as I thought I was. So for one, I cannot use the injectors that I already have. I need to get new injectors. For two, I cannot use this throttle body because it's a 3-bolt. I need a 4-bolt throttle body. Also, whenever I got the high ram, they come in two different versions. They come with a 95 millimeter and then a 105 millimeter. I got the 95 millimeter top hat. So the opening where the throttle body bolts on is 95 millimeter, which means I would need to run a 92 millimeter throttle body, in which that one that I do have is a 102 millimeter throttle body. So I need to get a throttle body. I obviously need to get a different map sensor because this map sensor won't work. I was looking those up. They do have some that do work. Unfortunately, mine is not one that works. And then what else? Oh, my throttle cable that I made work on the truck manifold. It's not going to work on this, so I'd have to get a new throttle cable. I'd have to redo my intake. And I think that my upper radiator hose is going to be in the way of the intake. Like, dude, everything, absolutely everything is pointing at just going back to the truck manifold. For now, at least. Oh, another thing is I still have my manual or my brake booster on there that needs a vacuum. So I have this line on the truck manifold that goes to my brake booster to supply the vacuum that it needs, where I don't have that on this. It does have outputs, but the only thing that the manifold came with is plugs, which this one right here is the one that I would use, is that larger one, but it just came with a plug. So I need to get one that screws in there that's going to have a banjo on it or something. I'm able to put the hose that goes over to my brake booster. So yeah, dude, it's a lot. There's a lot that I need to do to actually make the damn high ram work on the Blazer. So I think what I'm gonna do for now, unfortunately, is just focus on running with the truck manifold for now. I need to do my research, find all the parts that I need, get it all ordered, and whenever it all comes in, then we could switch over, you know what I'm saying? But for the time being, I just don't want it to hold me up. So if we go ahead and move forward with the truck manifold, I can complete everything right here and then move on to the fuel system, because we still have a lot of work to do with the fuel system, you know what I mean? And I just more than anything want to hear this thing fire up and hear what it sounds like with the cam. Yeah, this is the reason why I didn't want to just full send. I wanted to do one thing at a time, because if I would have finished the fuel system first, then whenever we're done with the cam, it would be ready, you know what I'm saying? But we did it all at once, so it is what it is, man. I'm gonna continue. Another thing that's really cool about the Holley, the engine harness that came with it, do you see this plug right here? It says fuel. That is actually where you would plug a fuel pressure sensor in. And if you look at this one back here, this one says oil on it. So this is where you plug the oil pressure sensor, in which I mentioned I have the wrong oil pressure sensor on here. So this does not plug in. But I did find one on Amazon that handles up to 100 PSI like I mentioned earlier. But this same exact fuel pressure sensor, or the same exact pressure sensor, can do coolant, oil, and fuel. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and order 2 of them, so then I can use one for my oil pressure, in which I have to get an adapter, and then I'm going to order a second one that I can just plug in right here for my fuel pressure, and it'll have to go in between one of my AN lines with an adapter. But yeah, that's cool. I'll be able to use both this, basically the same sensors for my oil and for my fuel. And then I guess they also have over here on the head, on this port back here, I can get another adapter and run the exact same pressure sensor for my cooling system. Though I don't know why it is my ECU would need to see coolant pressure, unless that's some kind of safety thing in case I like blow a head gasket or something. I don't know if that's like a safety thing or what, but anyhow, now I'm just so torn, dude, because every time I feel like every step that I make right now, I'm running into an issue where I need to go and get something. And a lot of it has been around this damn high ram manifold. Like, I need a lot of stuff to be able to run that. But now my brain is set on running it. Like, I want the high ram on the truck. But it's just so many things, bro. And if I'm being honest with you, I need to wait for another check to come in before I go ordering a whole another load of parts. So we're going to make do with what we've got for the time being. And I guess we're going back to the old truck manifold. Better get my gaskets back out, because I guess I am going to need those after all. Well, there it is, man. It's all put back together with the dang truck manifold. So yeah, now we need to, up next, work on the fuel system. But that's pretty much all I got for you guys for today. We got everything under the hood basically put back together. The only thing I need to do now is the radiator, but I'm gonna hold off on that until we get the fuel system done. Make it a little bit easier for routing stuff and everything. I get my hands in here. But anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. A little bit closer getting this thing done. I'm actually gonna get it out of the way right now because we gotta switch gears over to Braven's truck. He needs to get his cab rolled up here and start getting it fitted back onto the frame. So peace out, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.